of my bear's fur, and the scent of fresh bed linen as he lies on my bed. We all make excuses for the way we feel. Fog is suffocating my mind. Sleep is learning a new language. Anticipation is rousing mental chatter. Overwhelming helplessness is the result. Surrendering stress. Today I'm lost for words. Today is one of those days when I can't explain how I feel. In fear of saying it all wrong, I can't find the words that I'd usually find, because today is one of those days where my mind and mouth are in conflict, neither one ahead of another. Both fight to explain how I feel, although silence is the best word of all. Barry, I'd like to invite you to come and read it home for me.
Yes. I mean, with having done all the proofreading, I think I do know the poems sort of pretty well, almost inside out. And I'm sure my choice is so different from Alison's. It's been interesting, my favourite. And I'm always intrigued whether it's autobiographical or not. It's in the third chapter. Am I serious? I'm serious, I'm stony, I'm poker-faced glum, I'm consequential, I'm stark, I'm everyone's chum, I'm determined, I'm committed, I'm momentous and brave, I'm important, significant, I'm far-reaching and grave, I'm wholehearted, I'm scholarly, I'm resolute and deep. I'm earnest, I'm stern, I'm anything but cheap. I'm decidedly sombre, I'm solemnly fierce, and in addition, functionally severe. I'm more serious than Arctic, more sarcastic than scathing, but in the end, I'm just critically severe.
Thank you, Barry.
You're welcome.
Just a couple more. This is from chapter 6, Alive. It's a gift. My shell is a library, translated by anxiety. I'm not broken. I recognise the hurt. It's a gift. The special one. When I look in the mirror, I see anger, failure and guilt. When other people look at me, they see my true self. But hidden from the world is my inner pain. It wasn't until someone special came. Not beside me, looking into the mirror, but looking back at me. She changed my sorrow for joy. She reversed hurt to happiness, and she restored kindness from pain. I felt alive, animated and energized. I'm free, thanks to that someone special. Thanks because she told me to smile. Thanks because she was looking out for me. She knows me well, the real me, and she knew what I wanted to know. That someone had just saved my life. That special one was me, my reflection. A little bit of humour. A tortoise with purpose. Good morning, said the hare to the tortoise. Fancy a race from here to the fortress? Don't be silly, responded the reclusive tortoise. That hill ahead is absolutely enormous. Well, take your time, replied the hare, all mysterious. It's obvious you'll win. What's the point? Asked Tortoise. You beat me last time. Cheating, that's cheating, Hare echoed in chorus. You didn't set any rules out of all sense of purpose, uttered the clever, misinterpreted Tortoise. You'll be waiting for ages, declared the Hare, furious. See you at the top, squeaked the stubborn Tortoise. The confident Hare arrived at the top of the fortress. No sign or sense of the permitted tortoise. Hare waited 2 hours. He's obviously not pastured. Hare skipped back down. Still no sign of the tortoise. Days passed, and Hare's wisdom seemed utterly flawless. Where on earth is that ill-mannered, arrogant tortoise? I've been up and down several times. Did you see it? Shouted the tortoise, passing in his yellow lotus. You're having a laugh, cried Hare, quite precocious. So what? My wheels cured my rigor mortis. Finally, I was blessed to have John Hinckley and Lydia Towsley, their professional opinion on my collection of poems. John Hinckley is here today, is widely known as one of the country's most innovative comic poets, with several best-selling volumes of books to his name. I think you've written 10 books now, have you? And 2 CDs, spent most of his time on the stage. The Edinburgh Festival regular. I'm incredibly lucky to have you here today, John. So before I share any more work, I'd like to introduce you to John.
Come through, you two. I'm trying to come fix it. I think there's a seat there. Got another seat, anybody? So when Alison Huckvale came, I just left it out in the hallway, and my partner came by and saw it and she said, Tortoise of Hope, that's what we need round here. And I said to Alison, I'd read out a poem by D.H. Lawrence. D.H. Lawrence's Tortoise poem, she's got about 4, and I'm just going to read you an extract from Baby Tortoise. You know what it is? I won't try the accent. I can do a Bradford accent, actually. Well, I think I can do a Bradford accent. I lived in Bradford 1973 while 1977. And actually, when I was doing that accent, I said, what do you think of my Bradford accent? And somebody in the audience said, Small Barnsley. Anyway, Baby Tortoise. You know what it is to be alone, Baby Tortoise. The first day to heave your little feet little by little from the shell, not yet awake, and remain lapsed on earth, not quite alive. A tiny, fragile, half-animate being. To open your tiny beak mouth that looks as if it would never open, like some iron door. To lift the upper hawk beak from the lower base and reach your skinny little neck and take your first bite at some dim bit of herbage, alone, small insect, tiny bright eye, slow one, to take your first solitary bite and move on your slow solitary hunt, your bright dark little eye, your eye of a dark disturbed night under its slow lid. Tiny baby tortoise, so indomitable. No one ever heard you complain. You draw your head forward slowly from your little wimple and set forward slowly, dragging on your 4-pinned toes, rowing slowly forward. Whither away, small bird? Rather like a baby working its limbs, except that you make slow, ageless progress, and a baby makes none. Always controversial, D.H. Lawrence. I thought I'd play this instrument. So one of the things, when I run workshops with Bradgate, I usually bring my instrument along and usually play something. And usually there's a bit of joining in. And there is this afternoon. And the joining in is very, very simple. There's the exit, if you don't like joining in, but you have to get by me. But this is a song about a guillemot. A guillemot is a bird that dives for fish, and it's a very, very proficient diver. And this is the bridal guillemot, for any people in the audience who know their guillemots. The bridal guillemot, of course, is the one that looks like it's wearing a pair of white spectacles. And so there's various things I would like you to do in this piece here. I'm going to make sure that you're doing it. Proofreading around here. So when I say I'm a guillemot, it's a very, very simple movement. So you're going to do the wings, and it's I'm a guillemot, or 1, 2, 3. Okay, there we are. They're just joining in house. Try that then. I'm a Guillemot. Yes, an internal pen.
So I've just bought just a couple of poems from my new book just to share with you, just to end. So the first one, I was lucky enough to get published in the Beckingdale Poetry Journal. It's called Can You Erase the Future? A pencil in an outline of the future. Graphite markings of no particular size or shape. Conscious to leave something only barely visible, yet held down securely by masking tape. The image has an effortless shadow, disguised by tied cross-hatch shading, purposely neglecting the criminal links. Justice serves time on those pastel pinks, an image I can clearly remember. From that late evening, 20 years, last September. My memory serves me a lingering purpose, germs ruminating on the infectious surface. It may be too late for that someone, an image I can barely forbear, fearing judgment in my own sketching, yet a lifetime I've had to share, with no right or wrong or on paper, with the absence of definitive words. I can erase the past very easily on paper, but not in my mind. Ridiculous, farcical, utterly absurd. How to paint a picture postcard of paradise. We despair at a wrong brushstroke or wrong brush hair, yet rectifying a mistake simply shows that you care. I think outside of the box, my palette a reservoir of healing, kaleidoscope skies, immersed tones so appealing. I allow my brush to wander wet on wet, injections of colour from my paralysed pipette, an endless flat horizon outlined in pencil, like the watered down gravy used as a stencil. Splash and splosh as the crisp waves land, then the slap and suck of water on sand. Small circles of soft white foam coil around the rocks, as the rhythmic eyes flick and lazily mocks. As if in a trance, my unblinking blue eyes sweep over the canvas where paradise lies. A beach bathed in dawn's first rays, framed effortlessly under the deep blue haze. Now my painting can talk back at me and empathise emotionally, having seen the paint, brush and canvas collaborate collectively. Art is about tasting with our eyes, imagination translated, any form, any size. Colours. Which one am I today? I am green, nature's complexion, sensitive echoes on the verge of creation, an inner voice driven by motivation that actuates the mind. As I look left, I am orange, a poet with optimistic strength, formulating spontaneity and generosity, eager to be shared, freedom on edge. As I look right, I am white, not yet complete, pure or whole, but what I am is new, neat and well balanced. If I look ahead, I hope to see a rainbow, a visible spectrum with the highest vibrations, interchangeable colours of colour and strength. I am a colour, a union of body and soul, no end to my visual pollution, yet still vulnerable to judgment on any wavelength. This is my final one. Called Leaving by the Back Door Was Different. It was the dim grey hour when things just crept out of darkness. Bushes still inky black, the sky colourless and cheerless, clouds a tall veil. The sun wore a dim pale eye behind a socket of grey haze. I'd gone out through the back door, shrewdly trampling over shadows. I'd left an empty gaping window frame, broken panes and unloved paint, a door without a lock, a knocker or a handle, a sorry state of a building left in the rear. Next to the high stone wall lay a sinister hedge of prickly tangled branches, choking the weeds and strangling the path. The grass was withered and brown, plastic bags instead of blossoms, flapped in the bushes, spewing their contents on the ground. At the side of the door was a pile of stones, the only company as the letterbox moans. A shattered wall, pitted as if gnawed by hundreds of starving rats. A crumbling chimney lay on its back, and the hanging gutter was clogged with rotting leaves, no intention to pardon the grieving trees. It's a sorry state as I return through the broken gate, contemplating leaving by the front door if it's not too late. As the sun's merciless heat beats down like an invisible hammer, nature was painting the hills. The sky was flawlessly blue, without a tinge or a hue. It promises to be the canvas for laughter and the home for life ever after. I sat still in the arched wooden porch, where staring back at me were the beautiful carved white shutters, my built-in cosy, peaceful haven, perfect in every way, even down to how the flower beds were laid. The garden bathes in dawn's first rays, vivid, sparkling treasures, welcoming spring days. A symphony of songbirds riding the wind, through the empty branches, slightly unhinged. Poppies and daisies wave like hundreds of hands. Some lay like confetti across Mediterranean sands. Welcome wave by wave are the nodding gents' lilac heads of lilac, forming a patchwork pillow of lilac fields for ladies to lie. The paintwork is fresh, tidy and chic. The garden furniture is consummate, stay beautiful and deep. It's like having two totally different lives. Just imagine if we had to swap sides. Imagine if the vivid blue sky is layered with pregnant clouds. The whispers would not be far behind. Imagine if the vivid blue sky stayed that way every day. Would you lie if all of a sudden it turned grey? Could we all have a life using both doors, treading the sentiment of each other's flaws? Maybe exchange some of what was one way or another. After all, the only difference is mother.
The days grow longer, sunshine banishes rain, pale green shoots push through the earth and herald the spring. Snowdrops white and delicate, small, gentle drops of porcelain dancing in the breeze, followed by purple, yellow and white crocus, tiny and perfect, calm and quiet, promising summer's heat. Daffodils nod, yellow petals with orange trumpets, bright red tulips full of joy, jaunty. Bluebells dance, swaying in the breeze. The colours merge like a painting or a tapestry of springtime.
Wedding party by Jane. How much are they, Jane?
I did all the artwork myself.
Done all the artwork yourself? Yeah. Lovely. So Jane will be here, so if you want to have a look through her books as well. You've got a supply, haven't you? Thanks for bringing those along, Jane. So, I don't know if you've all got a glass, you probably have. We'll have to just have a bit of a taste.
All the loose ends from the first one, and the continuation of the story on the way.
Can I ask, did you have